What's up YouTube? I'm back again this week. JB, Dr. Supercoach, we are
Let's pretend I didn't record this instead of streaming on Thursday. Video coming right up.
Alrighty, so for those who missed it, I don't know how you would have missed it because it's all I spoke about, but I had a pretty good week this week in Supercoach. It was one of those weeks where everything sort of clicked for me. Leading into the last game, I had McGovern was my only sub-ton and he had 99 points. And then Luke Jackson let me down from there. But all in all, a very good week. My rank, I'm slowly resurrecting it. It's back up to 3.8k. There's a chance I can get in around the top 2k, but I think I'm trading too aggressively for leagues at this point of the season anyway. So at this rate, I know that I'm not winning any money, so it's kind of just throw trades out there for league, or maybe make a late run for rank. I'm not quite sure, but it's a real play it by week mentality at the moment. So let's get into the team. Before we get into the questions, this is what I usually do on stream for those who don't tune into that. So I might as well go through this for them who missed it this week. And so we got the team here. As you can see, it's one of those weeks that just went really well, pretty much on all fronts. So traded in Elliot Yo, who played and scored really well. Really happy with that. I got Rosie last week. Was hoping to get that ton last week, but he did get tagged. And then came back with a ton this week, so I'm not mad at it. Debut of Kerno in my team, 118, also scored pretty well. Can't be mad at that. I think the comeback of Tom Green was what probably surprised me the most in my team. And I tell you what, this man LDU, I can't get over how good he's been as a whole. It's like, I think after this point here, I was saying like the 88, 87, 101. I was saying, yeah, he just doesn't look good. Even that 101, like he didn't look good. I'm gonna have to move him on. But he got so cheap at that point that there were other priorities, and I was just thinking, he's got that first buy. It's not the end of the world. I can move him to someone later on during the buy rounds, but thank goodness I held on, because since that 101, even if we're not counting that, he went 112, then he went 90. Then 109, 152, 117, 114, 147, 148. So he's looking like the LDU of last season, the one who came home so well. So just a lot to enjoy with that. And then we have a look at this week's trades for me. So I'm getting in Gray to essentially, he's going to act as my swing to cover a couple of different lines here, and then the Fraser Reveal combination going out. So those boys served me extremely well. Really happy picking those guys up both on their bubble, so paid minimum price for them both, and really worked out. They both made really good cash for me to be able to finish my team here. And we're going to get Tim English in. I can't really afford to go higher, so obviously if I could, I'd probably get Grundy, but I can't. So you gotta deal with what you're dealt essentially. So I'm all right with that outcome. It's fine. I've wanted Tim English essentially since I started my team without him. So to get him in now, it feels fine. He's probably just going to go about 115 for the rest of the year. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. In terms of making sacrifices for my team, that's not the worst one that I could make, I don't think. So, and then obviously with Gray coming in, a lot of people are asking about Evans, Shawmaker. I think they're good players. I think they should stay in their respective teams. I just don't think they will. I think there are players returning for St Kilda that could push Shawmaker out, and Ken Hinkley. There's a chance Evans is just scapegoated first possible chance. He was voted our best on ground this first week. There was no way to possibly drop him, but essentially if there's a chance that Ken can drop him, I believe he will. So I just don't have that same confidence. So to open up that mid forward, so the forward defense swing action, essentially it means that if someone misses out in my defensive line, I can swing Fisher up with Gray and use Richards as the guy to field, who I think is my preferred guy to cover as many lines as possible here. If Richards isn't playing, I've got Kruger, I've got Dowling, I've got options. So essentially this puts me in a pretty comfortable position where I can cover all lines. I can have Richards cover the defensive line and the forward line. I can have Clark and Dowling covering the midfield, and I can have Jackson. Richards also covers the ruck line as well, with Jackson swinging in there. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. As far as, I've wasted a lot of trades. You guys know that I've been playing for rank early and for league recently, so I'm blowing through trades pretty quickly, but I'm down to 2. But that's okay. I'm going to ride this team home and just see, hopefully, how far we get. As far as full premium teams go, I like it a lot. I think Elliot Yeo is a really nice POD. I think LDU is a really nice POD, and I think Dunkley's going to be a really nice POD on the run home as well. I'm less confident about Martin and Jack Steele and Luke Jackson. Those 3 guys, they're going to worry me every single week. But besides that, I'm pretty confident with the team. Now, I do want to quickly talk about captaincy options, because this week's a pretty important week for captain. People are saying that there's a lot of options this week, but I'm actually I'm not confident. I'm not super confident in the options this week. I do like Dunkley to start off. I think at the Gabba, especially against Melbourne, their midfield is so undermanned right now. I think Clayton Oliver will get tagged as well. I think if Neil Bullen goes to anyone, it's probably going to be Lachie Neale. So I'm happy to go with Dunkley. If I had Lachie Neale and not Dunkley, I would happily vice-captain Lachie Neale as well. And if I had Zorko and neither Brisbane midfielder, then I'd be okay doing that vice-captain too. Now, if you don't like either of those 3 options from Brisbane, you do have the option of going Matt Scorn. He doesn't have a great record at the Gabba. I don't think that's eventually. I don't think it's going to stop him. That's not going to be the reason that he doesn't score well. There is also the case of they don't have a strong midfield with Petrarca out and other injuries happening in there. So he has less players to tap to. I just think it just sort of lowers his ceiling down low enough for me to just ignore that one. I do like Bontempelli against North Melbourne. I'd be okay with this being your vice-captain game if that's how you wanted to play it. I like him more than I like LDU, marginally, but I like Bont more for the captaincy. I might actually like LDU more for the vice-captaincy, but Bontempelli, that flu game that he played when no one had the VC on him was insane. If we get something else like that, it's going to be ridiculous. So I think Bontempelli is the safest pick of the round, just about. Which is why I'm happy to use my VC on the Friday night to go into the safest pick of the round. Then looking forward, we do have some other nice players. I don't mind Nick Dacos against Gold Coast. They've sort of, it's not like the wheels are coming off, but they're getting a little bit less and less competitive in the midfield as the year goes along. That just as per my eye test type of situation there, but. So I don't mind Nick Dacos. Sam Flanders has been super reliable. I don't know what his role is going to be this week. People talking about him going into the midfield. I think it suits him in there, but that'll be a mid-forward role, so I don't know if that's better than the halfback role. That's just going to be one to monitor. I don't like anyone for GWS. Geelong versus Essendon. I do like Merritt. A lot of people say maybe O'Connor tags him. He's been tagged like 3 of the last 4 weeks. I just like Merritt. I think no matter what, he scores well. Houston's a sneaky chance against St Kilda. He hasn't had a huge ceiling this year. I think he's maybe got 2 captain scores, like really good captain scores. So 120 is alright, 140, 148, 174. So 3 good captain scores. But then there's been sub-tons littered throughout. So I'd probably he's the type of guy where I'm like, yeah, he's going to score well, but I'm not going to be on him. So I think we'll just be happy to own. And then there are a couple of good West Coast options. I don't mind Yo personally, but I just think it's really difficult to captain someone who's as injury prone as Elliot Yo has been over his career. So for me it's pretty straightforward. I think St Kilda are 100% going to tag Zach Butters, so I wouldn't bother with that. I think there's a chance Steele even goes to Rosie on top of that. So there's a chance that it's going to be a really tough matchup for the Port boys. Other than that, I think Merritt's really, really safe. If I was a Merritt owner, Bont into Merritt would be pretty comfortable for me, I think. But obviously, everything comes with a bit of tag risk these days. You just kind of want to avoid the taggers as best as possible, or go with someone who you think is going to be more tag proof, which we've kind of seen with Merritt so far this year. Now, I do have some questions, so that's going to be my team all done there. I do have some questions from Slack, so I'm going to go and have a look here. I haven't read these in advance. There's multiple questions about my internet, so those people can get stuffed. I promise I'm trying the best I can. There's not much more I can do, but I'm trying to just hustle and get this content out regardless. Someone's asking the best option under 565k, considering Walsh, Yeo, Taranto, Richards. That'd be Ed Richards, actually, Ridley and Sicily. To be honest, I'm not big on Walsh because I'm still of the belief that his back is going to start gradually causing him issues again, like it did last year as the season progressed. So I think he probably has a lamer finish to the season as he has had start to the season, which hasn't even been that inspirational. I really like the Elliot Yeo pick. If you can look past that injury history, you're probably picking dollar for dollar one of the best potential averages for the rest of the season. His points per minute, they're just off the charts. He's really, really good. He's having a stellar year. Taranto, absolute non-option. Do not look there for more than 2 seconds. Richards, I do really like Ed Richards. I think his role now that Liver is back as well is worse than what it was before he got that injury. So I think you're not getting the guy exactly that was putting out like a 150 plus 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Obviously, he got injured on a high score as well. You're not getting that guy, but you probably get a safe, I think, 110, 115 even potential guy. Potential being the key word there, but I think a safe 105 floor for him, which is really, really good. I do like that pick a lot. Ridley, I think if you're just going to go with an injury-prone guy, I think Elliot Yeo is the better pick. Both of them are super injury-prone. We can't really say anything else at this point in their career. And then Sicily, he's just been kind of underwhelming for me. Maybe I need to deep dive a little bit on Sis, but he's sort of like he'll come out with a couple of good scores, and then he'll just put out like a random So he's got like 4 low tons in a row here, back-to-back sub-tons, and then a big game here. He started the season tagged against Essendon, then the 123, then 3 sub-tons in a row. Like he barely cracked. He's cracked 110 3 times this season. So clearly not the same player that he was. I'm sort of just okay with leaving that out, to be honest. But I think he's the safest probably in terms of just playing the rest of the season. Is James Sicily. So it kind of depends on what you feel like. But if that was me personally, I'm going to double back my boy Yeo in, followed by Richards, followed by Walsh, followed by Ridley and Sicily combined, depending on whether you want to take the risk or not. Alright, so Josh had Fife as my bench cover for all lines with DPP, but now he's not. But he's now showing that he's not even good for that. Is it worth using 2 trades to get him to ranking? Have to wait till the end of next week. It's kind of for this week. Moving Jackson to F7. So how many trades do we have left? With Richards covering 4 and right with 4 trades left, need 10k. Rankings, there's a chance Clark doesn't even make that. Yeah, that's very true. Look, if you can afford that, it is something to assess the following week. So how many? You'd be left with 3 trades after the Jackson move. The reason I'm okay with 3 trades, I think most people are going to 2 or 3 trades. I think most of the competition is going to end up around 2 to 5 trades that are at full premium, right? And then a lot of them are going to be deciding, do we keep those for the entire time? We probably aren't going to need that many trades, but at least we'll be the safest coaches out there. But the safest coaches out there aren't necessarily the coaches that win. The thing that I'm curious about is how many trades does having Jackson at F7 save you? Because if you can just bring him on for any ruckman, any forward that gets injured, you're covering off half your field and making essentially half your field trade proof unless it's a long-term injury. But I get the feeling that people are going to be trading out 2 weekers, whereas you could probably keep a 2-week injury, especially if it's to a really good player. So personally, I'd be going down the route of getting Jackson to F7. That's my opinion. Jackson, I think, is he's definitely loopable, but he's absolutely far from a guaranteed good score, guaranteed premium score. So actually the furthest from it of almost anyone in the game that is being highly purchased as a premium player, I would argue. So Luke is asking, would you get Rankin or Kerno/Caldwell and use the extra cash bank to get someone like Rao to Merritt instead? Rankin and Rao with 4 trades, or Kerno and Caldwell and Merritt. Kerno/Caldwell and Merritt with 3 trades, basically. Okay, so again, I'm going to answer with the aggressive answer just because I like a bit of aggressive play towards the back end of the year. I think you can really separate you, especially in terms of rank. In terms of league, you're probably always going the safe option here if you're purely a league player. But let's assume that you're going for rank because it's more fun in this scenario for me answering this question. I would 100% get Curnow and Merritt. I think Curnow is probably going to be in the top 5 SuperCoach forward averages for the rest of the season. From here, I'd be surprised that number could even get up to 3rd or 4th, honestly. With their run home and the form that he's showing, I just think he's a really, really quality pick with a high floor, which you rarely say about someone with such a high ceiling. And then we look at Merritt as well. He's essentially going to be... I think he's the 4th best. So you got Bont, Sarong, Butters, and Merritt. That's like the holy quadruple of players. And then you've got like LDU, who you could put in there because he's been so good now for at least a month, but he's only just getting into that stage. The other 4 guys have put together like a full body of work this season. They've been amazing. They've been relied upon. They've been trusted. They've been really good. So I think you can safely... I think Curnow is going to outscore or score similar to Rankin. Maybe not out average him, but I think Rankin is definitely at way more risk to miss games. So I'm siding with Curnow and Merritt there. I shouldn't spend so much time on this question. Sorry. Only 500 points separate rank 3K and 10K, and then 500 points separate rank 3K and rank 400. This is peak, by the way. You can tell by all the numbers that he's throwing at me. How many points should people realistically think they could make up on those in front of them if they have a good completed team and enough trades? Honestly, like I have no idea. But what I do know, now this was a buy round, but if I go to my game day this week, there are a lot of people that are ranked higher than me that you'll see here, and because I've had a good week, and obviously I built my team to sustain this buy round. So Cheezo, who was ranked ahead of me, presumably scored 1949. So I made up about 300 points there. And then Pistol, I made up about 200 points. Both those lads ranked ahead of me. Both of them are having great seasons. They've both got great teams. But like if you nail enough of your picks, you can have weeks where you make up that many points on players ahead of you. So honestly, it's like, how long is a piece of string? It's going to be really difficult for me to give you an answer to that as to how many points you can realistically get. But if you're ranked 3K right now, could you still make the top 500? Absolutely, 100% you could. If you're ranked 10K flat, could you still make the top 2K? You'd have to come home really well, but 100% it's possible. The key ingredients for me is you have to hit your captaincies, and if now it's not as important now because the rookies aren't as in vogue or in our rotation, but you have to hit your rookie scores, or if you're looping a premium, you have to hit your premium scores. That's going to separate you from the pack at this point. Is Sexton to Curnow a bit of a sideways trade? Be down to 4 trades if I do it. I would do it, honestly. I just think Curnow's really good. Sexton's done his job now. Anything beyond this, and it's not like you're getting greedy because like he's still just doing his job, but like you almost are getting greedy. To the point where it could burn you, and if Curnow jumps Sexton in price by an amount that you then have to chase later on because things happen, he's been dropped, or he's scored 60 back-to-back games, all of that is possible. I would just do the trade personally. I don't think Sexton's like this guaranteed keeper guy. He's probably going to average say 85 on the run home, maybe 80, whereas Curnow I think is going to go to 95 to 100 pretty comfortably. So yes, I'll do that trade. I think it's worth it. Then we got the last question here via the Slack from Kevin. I've got 5 trades left and still 1 premium to get. Would you still trade Clary to Rosie? I'm playing for leagues, not ranked. Alright, so 5 trades left, 1 premium to get. So assuming that takes you 2 trades, you're down to now 3 trades. I wouldn't do the trade yet. That's really difficult because like now you're talking like how many guys are going to get injured in the run home, and I'm just not possibly going to know that from this perspective. So Oliver is 458. What's his break even? 137. He could drop 20k. And then Rosie's is 52. He could go up 20k. So there's a chance they're the same price next week, but unlikely. You'd have to have pretty differing ends of the spectrum there. I would give it a week, assuming you have $0 in the bank. But then if you need to make a sideways, you're probably using a trade next week, and then you might not have it. honestly, that's really difficult. I would do the trade because, like, mentally, I would not be able to watch Clayton Oliver do what he's been doing so far this year. And he is going to get tagged by Berry this week. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. He got tagged by Will Phillips last week to a 32, which is just astounding how someone can, what a fall from grace. It's like someone said that he's playing a more defensive midfield role, which is absolute madness. So 105, 141, 124, he's 3 tons. I would get rid of him. He's clearly not a premium. I would really consciously get rid of him. And their run home isn't even that incredible. So yeah, actually I would do the trade. Personally, I don't think you're full premium until you've done the trade. Just factor it into your trades. How do you have, like, at this point you're getting 40k to do it, 48k to do it. I would do it, and then hopefully that improves your upgrading next week as well. And you can factor that into the whole, actually I did this and they scored this, but also it helped me get Mera over Josh Dunkley the week after, sort of thing. So just as an example. So yeah, I think you do it and you bank that extra cash. All right, now I've got a couple that I saw come through on the Twitter. So let me have a suss at this. I'm going on my phone because I can't be bothered poking around on the internet there. So, all right, we've got 2 here. So best cheap F6 option. This is from Andy Armour, or Amor. Sorry. Andy Amor. Best cheap F6 option out of Bolton, Mackay, Simpkin, and Myers, or someone else. Only have 420k. Now, I'm actually discussing this with another person as well. Someone who I chat with quite a lot about SuperCoach. So shout out to you, Maz, if you're listening. And we're figuring the same thing out as well. I promise you, it's not Simpkin. I just want to start that now. He's probably got 2 good weeks with Wardlaw out, but then I expect him to go back to really bad scoring. The problem with Mackay is that he's had 4 really good weeks, but they were within the first 6. Since then, he's hit the 90 3 times, and then he's had some bad scores. Their run home, though: Richmond, GWS Bulldogs, North, Port, Collingwood, Hawthorn, West Coast, St Kilda. I expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches there where I think they're pretty, not comfortably, but I'm saying they're getting tipped by 80% of the competition to win that game. And if that's happening, then especially in the games like against Richmond this week and North Melbourne, you can probably reasonably foresee a bag of goals being possible. With that being known, I think Mackay is the way to go. Bolton is just way too inconsistent. I just really can't trust him. I know we're looking at the picture of consistency here with Mackay, but at least I know what I'm going to get with Mackay. Like he's either going to kick a few goals, go well, or he's not. He's going to get shut down by his opponent. Bolton could kick 7 behinds in a game and score 60. He could kick, it's so up in the air. But it's more about Bolton's more reliant on just having an on game, whereas Mackay, a lot of things could work for him. His team could be going well. He does play in an extremely dominant team right now. There's a lot of things that could be going his way. Now, last question is from Jonah. What should Wardlaw holders with a few trades left do now with a concussion? Should we sideways him or keep it as it is? Do Wardlaw owners have him on field like as a premium option? I guess you probably just hold this week and assess next week. Like there's no reason to move him out this week. But if you've got him as a premium keeper, you're probably going to try and look to upgrade him anyway. Let me look at what scores he's been getting recently. I'm sure they've been good because he's an absolute superstar in the making here. But is that enough for you to be just having him in there as like a keeper pick? Oh yeah, it's 3 scores in a row that are really quality. Look, I think he misses this week, and that's fine. You cop that one on the chin. That we live and we learn. And then after that, he has Gold Coast at Marvel, coming back with a break even of 50. I think you give him that game, and then reassess from there. But I think you're definitely holding him this week. They've actually got a decent run home as well. They play Richmond, West Coast as well in the run home, and Hawthorn in the final round there. So, I mean, what's a good run home for North Melbourne? But they should at least be competitive in a few of these games that we can see here. I think they'll be competitive against Geelong and Gold Coast as well in that group. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, I think that's it in terms of the questions. I do appreciate you guys reaching out. I've appreciated I don't know if everyone watching this has been tuning into the streams, but essentially the streams have been doing extremely well. I'm really, really grateful for the people that keep showing up. It's gotten to a point now with my internet where it's getting really, really unbearable for me to keep tuning in, and then I have to essentially warm my internet up for half an hour before I jump on, and then it still struggles for the first 10 minutes of the stream. Everyone's complaining. I know that it's happening. It's out of my control. But at this point, I really just want to skip to the part where I've just got internet again, which is just a work in progress. So, look, season 1, I think it's been a bit of a test to see how it goes. I think it's been pretty successful so far. But if you have been liking the streams, please reach out, let us know, and it's something that with enough popular demand we can continue with in 2025 as well. So that'll do me for the video. I'm not going to shoot to any other cameras. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys all next week. Have a good luck. Have a good luck. Have a good week. Good luck, everyone. Ciao.